either during a break, I said, or at the conclusion of the hearing. And I'll have each of these representatives introduce themselves to you shortly. Before that, I'd like to set forward some ground rules for the testimony this evening. If you do wish to testify this evening, please be sure to print your name and address on the sign-in sheet that has been provided so that you may be recognized. And right now, we've located them in the back of the room, and I'll be running or ask for a volunteer to, from time to time, run up the list so that I have a per list and can call upon the individuals. Please note that it's not my practice to set time limits for any individual speaker during this public hearing. However, I do ask that you be mindful of your fellow residents who also wish to present testimony today. We will be here until all of you who wish to testify have had the opportunity to do so. I would suggest, however, that if you have not done so already, please take some time and organize your thoughts so that you can present your comments and concerns in a concise and efficient manner. If someone else has spoken and you are in agreement with those remarks, it's not necessary to repeat them. You may simply say that you agree with them, and that agreement will be noted in the official record of these proceedings. Bear in mind, the purpose, our discussion will hopefully be limited to the purpose of the petition filed by New Jersey Natural Gas Company. And pursuant to the petition, the company is seeking to appeal a decision of the Holmdel Township Zoning Board of Adjustment denying the petitioner's application for the construction of a proposed regulator station. And they're seeking a determination that the construction of the station is for the benefit of the residents of Holmdel and the neighboring municipalities in Monmouth County, that it's necessary to maintain system integrity and reliability, and is reasonably necessary for the service, convenience, or welfare of the public. Also seeking determination that there's no alternative site or sites that are reasonably available to achieve an equivalent public benefit. Finally, the petitioner is seeking an order that the zoning site plan review and all other municipal land use ordinances or regulations promulgated under the auspices of Title 40 of the New Jersey Statutes and Municipal Land Use Law for the state of New Jersey shall not apply to the proposed facility. I am certain that those presenting New Jersey Natural Gas Company will further elaborate on the petition and will further explain the nature in its initial presentation. Now, again, tonight, we're only here for the public hearing, to hear from you, the public, to express your opinions and concerns on this petition. But there will be a formal evidentiary hearing in this matter, and that will be held at the Office of Administrative Law in Mercerville, New Jersey, on July 13th, 2017, at 9:30 a.m. before me. Members of the public, that is an open proceeding, members of the public are invited to attend. At this time, I will ask for the representatives of the various parties before us to place their appearances on the record and provide any opening statements they may have at this time.
Andrew Dembia, Regulatory Affairs Council, on behalf of New Jersey Natural Gas.
Mara Caraselli, Assistant Deputy Rate Counsel with the New Jersey Division of Rate Counsel. Thank you, Your Honor.
John Masciello, on behalf of board staff.
Good evening, Your Honor. Michael L. Collins of Archer and Briner, Township Attorney, representing Intervenor Township of Holmdel.
Thank you, everyone. And I will ask, I know I'm up here, and it's when people from the public are speaking, if you'll address your comments to me and to the court reporter so they're recorded appropriately. But I will ask the representatives if you're making an opening statement and presentation in this matter, just for the benefit of furtherance of the purpose of our proceeding today, perhaps. I won't be offended by your background. Please feel free to present it to the public that has gathered today. With that, would any of the parties wish to make an opening presentation at this time?
Sure. Good evening. My name is Andrew Dembia. I'm an attorney representing New Jersey Natural Gas Company, and I'd like to welcome you to this public hearing. This hearing offers you an opportunity to provide any comments you may have on a filing made with the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities. On January 10, 2017, New Jersey Natural filed a petition with the BPU appealing a decision of the Holmdel Township Zoning Board of Adjustment denying the company's application for the construction of a proposed regulator station. The station will be a natural gas pressure reduction facility. It will reduce the natural gas pressure between the company's high-pressure transmission system and low-pressure distribution system. The station will be constructed on private property located at 970 Holmdel Road, where Cornerstone Power Holmdel operates a solar farm. The station will be located within an easement of approximately 100 feet by 85 feet. Due to the location of the easement and configuration of the station, certain site plan approval, C and D variances, and conditional use approval were requested. New Jersey Natural sought variances to construct the regulator station as an additional principal use on the proposed site. To construct the regulator station within the buffer required between a non-residential use and residential zone. The buffer required is 384.25 feet, but New Jersey Natural proposed a buffer of 89.78 feet. And to install an 8-foot high fence with privacy slats in the front and side yard of the facility. Currently, only open wire fencing is permitted. The proposed site is located in the township's OL-2 zone. As a result, the proposed station is a conditionally permitted public use under Holmdel's municipal zoning ordinances. The company demonstrated before the zoning board that this public utility use is both appropriate for the property and for the OL-2 zone. As set forth in its zoning board application and as demonstrated at the numerous zoning board hearings, the station is an inherently beneficial use. New Jersey Natural further demonstrated before the zoning board the suitability of the proposed site, even though it had no obligation to do so, because the facility is an inherently beneficial use. The regulator station will consist of a filter, heater, 2 regulator runs, and associated piping. The regulator station will have dual regulator runs to better ensure the reliability, safety, and adequacy of gas delivery to New Jersey Natural's customers. The redundancy of regulator runs is an industry best practice employed to manage risk. If one run is deactivated for maintenance or fails due to an equipment malfunction, the second run will continue operating in order to seamlessly maintain system pressure and delivery of natural gas, thereby avoiding any service interruption. The station will be constructed in full accordance with all state and federal regulations. The station is required in order to maintain the integrity and reliability of New Jersey Natural's local distribution system, because it will allow the company to reliably and safely achieve the significant reduction in gas pressure, a change of up to 600 pounds per square inch, from the existing transmission system in Holmdel to the existing distribution system. That ultimately delivers gas to customers in Holmdel and surrounding communities. The design of the above-ground regulator station with a heating unit will prevent the regulators and associated facilities from freezing and becoming encased in ice, a condition that can result in a loss of service to the local distribution system customers. The loss of gas service to a segment of Holmdel could prove devastating to the affected customers, especially in the winter when heat and hot water are critical. If, for example, a regulator failure resulted in the loss of service to dozens or even 100 homes, there would be a significant delay in service restoration. That is because once gas service is interrupted, New Jersey Natural cannot simply flip a switch to instantaneously turn service back on after the regulator is thawed and repaired, a process itself that would take some time. Rather, before service could be restored, New Jersey Natural personnel would have to personally visit each of the affected premises to manually turn off the gas at each service line. Once New Jersey Natural accomplished that task, it could repressurize the gas system, but would have to personally return again to each individual affected property in order to turn the gas back on manually and to relight the pilot for each appliance and furnace. If New Jersey Natural did otherwise, if it simply turned the gas back on en masse without visiting each property, each premises with unlit pilot lights could slowly fill up with gas, which could result in a dangerous, potentially life-threatening condition. If 50 or 100 houses lost service due to a regular station failure, the restoration process could leave homes without heat for many days, which in the winter months could lead to significant damage to homes through freezing pipes and also the health and well-being of its residents. Due to the insignificant source of emissions from the heating unit, a New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection air permit is not required. The emissions from the heater are no different than a typical home furnace. Also, a DEP land use permit is not required due to the limited scope of the station in the absence of environmentally sensitive features at the proposed site. In its zoning board application, the company committed to enclose the station with dense and varied landscaping, tree and shrub plantings surrounding the east and south sides of the station, including but not limited to trees ranging from 7 to 12-foot planting height. To further lessen the view of the station from the street, the company would modify the site grading to include an approximate 2.5-foot high earthen berm in front of the station, a retaining wall along the south, east, and north sides of the station behind the berm, and an approximate 1.5-foot reduction in site grading behind the berm where the station would be physically located. In addition, the company proposed to install an 8-foot high chain link wood slatted fence, reduce the fence post spacing, increase the fence post diameter, and fill the fence posts with concrete. In response to public comment at the zoning board hearings regarding the landscaping, although the quantity of the proposed landscaping remained unchanged, the company revised its landscaping screening proposal. The 8-foot high chain link wood slatted fence, guardrail, and the majority of the proposed landscaping would now be located on top of the proposed earthen berm. The net impact of the company's revised proposal would increase the maximum landscaping height from approximately 12 feet on planting to approximately 14.5 feet on planting, while at the same time reduce the grade of the site behind the screening by an additional 1.5 feet, for an overall 4-foot increase in screening height above the approximate 12-foot landscaping height originally proposed. This landscaping plan would completely obscure the station from public view. The company believes it has gone far beyond what is reasonably required to address these visual concerns. After 10 months of extensive hearings, at which New Jersey Natural's counsel and witnesses labored to answer every question and concern raised by the zoning board and the public, the zoning board denied New Jersey Natural Gas's application. It should be noted that 6 of the 7 zoning board members acknowledged that New Jersey Natural had established that the station is an inherently beneficial use, but yet nonetheless voted to deny the company's application by a vote of 6-1. As a result, pursuant to NJSA 40:55D-19, the company appealed the zoning board's decision. New Jersey Natural is requesting that the board issue an order pursuant to NJSA 40:55D-19 to determine that the construction of the station for the benefit of the residents of Holmdel and neighboring municipalities in Monmouth County is reasonably necessary for the service, convenience, or welfare of the public. Additionally, New Jersey Natural requests the board to determine that no alternative site or sites are reasonably available to achieve an equivalent public benefit, and find that the Township of Holmdel and Monmouth County zoning ordinances, the applicable site plan review, all other municipal land use ordinances, and all regulations promulgated thereto under Title 40 of the New Jersey statutes and the municipal land use law of the state of New Jersey shall not apply to the proposed station. Thank you.
Representatives of the other parties to proceed at this time?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mara Caroselli. I'm an Assistant Deputy Rate Counsel representing the New Jersey Division of Rate Counsel. Our office was created by the New Jersey Legislature to represent New Jersey ratepayers in matters concerning public utility rates and services. I'm not going to repeat some of what Mr. Dembia had talked about with regard to the description of the regulator at this time. You can read about it in my public hearing statement. It's quite similar to what Mr. Dembia had said. My public hearing statement is available in the back of the room next to the sign-in sheet. I will say a few things about my office. At this time, although the company seeks to build the regulator station, it is not seeking to raise rates as part of the current filing. Although the company can seek to recover costs associated with this regulator station in a future proceeding before the Board of Public Utilities. Our office is conducting a complete investigation of the company's petition based upon the information supplied and updated by the company. We have retained the services of expert consultants to assist us in our review. Rate Counsel's inquiry will be focused on the necessity of the station and whether the company's design and construction plans are consistent with the applicable engineering and safety standards. The BPU, the board, will ultimately make the final decision regarding the company's proposal to construct the station. The purpose of this hearing is for you, the customer, to voice your opinion, relate your experiences, and offer your comments with regard to this petition. This hearing is being transcribed, and your comments will become part of the record. It is important that you express your views so that they may become part of the record in which the board and the ALJ will base its decision. Rate Counsel also needs to hear your views. You may submit your comments to the Board of Public Utilities, but also to ALJ Pelios. I would like to reiterate the importance of your participation so that Rate Counsel can have a clear record of your concerns and interests. On behalf of Rate Counsel, I thank you for attending this hearing. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is John Masiella, and I represent board staff. As you know, New Jersey Natural Gas filed a petition dated January 10th, 2017 with the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities requesting the board determine that the construction of the Holmdel regulator station is necessary for the service, convenience, and welfare of the public, and that the board exempt the company from the municipal land use laws pursuant to its statutory authority. The proposed regulator station would be located at 970 Holmdel Road in Holmdel, New Jersey, on an easement approximately 100 by 85 feet. The regulator station will provide for a reduction in pressure necessary to supply the New Jersey Natural Gas distribution system with gas from its transmission system. Staff reviews all aspects and supporting documentation with respect to each filing for reasonableness of the company's claims. It is important to note that staff must consider the needs of the utility, those of the utility's ratepayers, and those of the general public when making determination. We attempt to keep these needs balanced so that utility can continue to provide safe, adequate, and proper service. Thus, we welcome any written or oral comments presented today. Be assured that we will take your comments into consideration when staff conducts its review of the filing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good evening. I am Michael L. Collins of the Archer and Reiner Law Firm, and I serve as Township Attorney to the Township of Holmdel. At the direction of Mayor Gregory Bontempo and the Township Committee, we filed a motion to intervene as of right in opposition to this New Jersey Natural Gas petition on behalf of the Township and its residents who are also ratepayers. I thank Your Honor for granting that motion formally yesterday and memorializing the Township as a party to this case. In this case, New Jersey Natural Gas is appealing from a decision of the Holmdel Zoning Board of Adjustment. Before the Zoning Board, numerous Holmdel Township residents testified to their well-placed concerns about locating a regulator station adjacent to the Holmdel Road right-of-way. After listening to all relevant testimony, the Zoning Board concluded that the detrimental effects of the proposed regulator station substantially outweigh the public interest and that the proposed facility at that location would cause a substantial detriment to the public good. As such, the Zoning Board denied the issuance of the required D variance. As you are aware, in the instant case, New Jersey Natural Gas has appealed from the Zoning Board denial pursuant to NJSA 40:55D-19, which requires them to prove that 1, the proposed use is necessary for the service, convenience, or welfare of the public, 2, the proposed use of the land is necessary to maintain reliable natural gas supply service, and 3, that no alternative site or sites are reasonably available to achieve an equivalent public benefit. The Township submits that New Jersey Natural Gas will not be able to meet this burden and looks forward to establishing that during the OAL proceedings before Your Honor. I am confident that the Mayor, members of the Township Committee, and fellow residents will fully address Your Honor with their concerns, including the proposed location's proximity to a major high-speed thoroughfare and the aesthetics of a 15-foot heater stack being sited along the roadway. For purposes of this public hearing, though, I will defer to the public comments to inform Your Honor on these concerns. Instead, for my purposes, I would like to briefly address some more technical points which go to New Jersey Natural Gas's inability to meet its burden of proof before the BPU. First, New Jersey Natural Gas emphasizes in its papers that it did not consider locations that are in residential zones or school zones, as well as the Garden State Parkway, because it is difficult negotiating with the New Jersey Turnpike Authority. This permitted New Jersey Natural Gas to dismiss out of hand numerous sites. However, the proposed location is across the street from a residential zone, highlighted by the fact that they require a variance for not having a sufficient residential buffer, and additionally had to notify a resident located within the 200-foot mark set forth in the municipal land use law. Second, New Jersey Natural Gas insists that the regulator station is required for avoiding severe icing of its transmission line, and that the temporary regulator station currently in use lacks the capacity to heat the transmission line. Despite the exigencies that are set forth in the natural gas papers, Discovery has already established that the line has only frozen once since it was laid in 2012 on December 11, 2014. Finally, New Jersey Natural Gas, we believe, should consider locations that are further off the road for safety reasons given the current location. The Discovery establishes that there is no demonstrable loss of heat from having a longer delivery line with a location further off the road, and instead the only principal concern would be increasing costs. For these and additional reasons that will be established both tonight by the public and later at trial, the Township submits that New Jersey Natural Gas is unable to meet its burden of proof, and accordingly this petition should be denied. I thank Your Honor for the time, and I also thank you for making the trip from Hamilton out here to Holmdel to listen to our concerned residents. Thank you.
Thank you, representatives. At this time, I'm going to ask that everyone who came here and wishes to speak this evening, please stand, raise your right hand, and swear or affirm the oath that will be administered by the court reporter.
Solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give this matter tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Before you testify, and you may be seated. Before you testify individually, I will ask that you open your remarks, even though we'll be calling you by name from the sign-in sheet. I do ask that you open your remarks by stating your name, spelling your last name for the benefit of the court reporter, and therefore for the accuracy of the transcript of the record, and then indicate your address for the record as well. Thank you. So with that, we will move into the public portion of the hearing. I customarily will ask if there are local public officials who wish to present a statement. And my understanding is that we have Mayor Bontempo.
For this part?
Yeah, please. Okay. For the record,
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I am Holmdel Mayor Greg Bontempo. My address is 22 Grandview Drive in Holmdel, right down the road from where this proposed regulator station we're looking to build it. On behalf of myself, Deputy Mayor Pat Grevenduto is sitting with me and speaking this evening against the proposed regulator system. The Holmdel Zoning Board heard testimony from both New Jersey Natural Gas experts and concerned citizens on balance, and then reached a conclusion that the detrimental effects outweigh the public benefits. This was not a quick decision. This was a decision, as you've heard, Your Honor, that went on for, I believe, close to 10 months. The citizens testified the proposed regulator station is too close to Holmdel Road, and I believe, living in that area, they are correct. The heater is going to be about 67 feet from the road. The control box, about 51 feet from the road. The regulator, about 73 feet from the road. We have a residential property that's about 180 feet from the road. The aesthetics. It's difficult to fence in and obscure or hide 15-foot heater stacks that are only 70 feet from Holmdel Road. Safety is also a concern. Holmdel Road is a high-speed traffic road, and any accident could be catastrophic for the town. Holmdel is a beautiful community. In this part of town, Your Honor, we have wildlife, nurseries, vineyard, and athletic facilities where our children play on that are not in close nearby to where this proposed regulator system is going. Open space, maintaining the natural beauty of the area is of the utmost importance to this township, who spent many years building a master plan to control how this town was built out, and this does not fit in with what we ever envisioned for this type of facility being built in this part of town. I encourage, and we encourage New Jersey Natural Gas to find a new location for this facility. The service line runs through many areas of town, and I believe there are other areas of town which would be more appropriate for this facility and probably require more work on their part. And I believe that they may have pursued this because they thought it was an easy location to put it in. But from the perspective of the representing the township and the residents throughout, this is not a location we want, and we want this regulator project stopped in its tracks. Thank you.
Any other public officials who wish to be heard at this time? Then with that, I'll move into the public portion of the hearing. Before we begin, I will say, I know several residents did take the opportunity to mail me a letter expressing their thoughts and their concerns on the matter. Rest assured, I have provided a copy of your comments already to the representatives of the parties to this matter, and they are part of the official record. I'm not going to stop anyone from repeating or reading their letter, but if you, for some reason, feel you don't wish to speak tonight, rest assured that the letter has been received and will be considered part of the court's exhibits for these proceedings and have been shared with all parties for memorialization. With that, and anyone who's joined us late, just if you wish to speak this evening, there is a sign-in sheet toward the back of the room. Feel free to fill out your name and address, and we will move down the list and call on you. At this time, I will call on Kim Wiegand-Casola. How are you?
Hello. Okay. My name is Kim Wiegand-Casola, C-A-S-O-L-A. I live at 939 Holmdel Road, slightly more than 200 feet across from the proposed facility. First, Your Honor, I'd like to present you with 305 letters of opposition and formal protest to NJNG's attempt to override and overturn the zoning board's denial of the above. I also brought along additional copies of those. We were advised by someone at the Rates Council, I believe, to bring along additional copies for anybody who needs them. Excuse my voice.
Before you continue, I will say if you do have additional copies, I would feel compelled to share them with a copy, at least one to each of the parties, the representatives who we heard from.
Okay.
If you don't have enough copies, we can work on scanning them and making sure they're circulated, but if you do have those copies to...
Do you want me to give them when I'm done speaking?
Absolutely, that's fine.
Okay. And do you want me to leave the rest with you? Because they're all in that big bin, 10 copies.
However you would like to proceed, I only need the one, but I know you went to the effort and I certainly want you to...
Okay. So I live right across the street from this facility. We have Fox Hollow Vineyards, and I'm also at Casola Farms. We have nearly 100-acre piece of property that is farmland preserved, which means that all of you as taxpayers saw it important enough to vote to always put money into preserving land. We were fortunate enough to be able to buy our property because it is preserved, which means the development rights were sold off. Holmdel Township felt that agriculture is still very important to this community. Between my husband and myself, our family has been farming in Holmdel Township for over 300 years. My 5 children have all gone into agriculture, and my son just won the Governor's Cup Award in the state of New Jersey for the best grape wine with his Cabernet Franc. Those grapes are right across the street from where these emission stacks will be putting out fumes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that we're really not quite sure which comes out of them. As I stand before you, I think back to the very first meeting I attended where New Jersey Natural Gas made its proposal to the zoning board, and our board chairman asked, what is the purpose of this proposal and what is it going to do for us? And I can say 7 meetings and 16 months later, I still ask myself the same question. I have no doubt of the building of this and that it is needed, but it is not needed here. There could be a better place. I'm not saying we don't need help with natural gas or whatever the company needs to do. But we have asked the gas company many times, and I noticed the version that was sent from the township after the appeal, and forgive me, I'm not good with terminology, it was very truncated on a lot of our comments and our questions. Many of us had asked some of these questions. Where do you plan to send the gas? Are you ever planning expansion? Do you plan on selling gas? Will there be gas storage there? There is no environmental study, they say, although the land was deemed to be a flood hazard area and also a riparian zone. That is a 33-acre parcel, and although right now they just want to use a portion of the front of it, they also want to be deemed a principal use. This frightens me. 33 acres can become something much bigger, perhaps a gas liquefaction storage area, perhaps a compressor station. This land was already varianced for a solar field. Setbacks and sides and whatever were already greater than what they're reduced to now. I'm going to leave out a lot, but I've also been stunned since the very first meeting when various representatives from New Jersey Natural Gas, one was the Mark Cancione, Mike Antilli, Craig Sanders, came up with statements in the February meeting and the March meeting of 2016 describing the area as industrial and commercial. We look for commercial and industrial sites. They said when you have a significant station like this, we consider this a major station, city-level capacities. It was also mentioned that this is going to be a backbone area to feed growth. We have gotten away from these types in larger critical stations like this. Again, on July 20th, the sound expert even referred to industrial and commercial properties. I don't want to take up everyone's time, but I want to go into the fact that if anyone is familiar with this area, this is one of the last quasi-rural areas left of Holmdel. Far from industrial, far from commercial. It hosts a quaint historic village. Most of my home was built in 1760. An addition was put on in the early 1800s. Through the town, Main Street and 520, there's a lot of old historic homes. There are no commercial industrial sites. There are a few office campuses surrounded by a lot of acres. What would stop the few farms left in Holmdel Village on 520 or on Main Street from then saying, why can't we have an industrial site? Why can't we be commercial? What would stop some of these large office campuses from subdividing their property? And the town could become an industrial commercial site right in Holmdel. I also would like to let you know that this road is a 50-mile-an-hour road. On many occasions, the gas company quoted it as 40 miles an hour. That happens down in the village. Having lived along this road, it is loaded with deer. I have seen many accidents. There are dead deer constantly, and I know 3 people who were killed between my house and the edge of, I'd say, the more western side of the proposed property, from deer, from swerving from deer. It frightens me that this site is right here. A vehicle going 50 miles an hour, there's lots of construction trucks, big trucks, tractor trailers travel this road, can launch and go right into this. The berm, the guardrail does not stop a big truck. I guess that's, I'm sorry I get very nervous, and I guess that's about what I want to say. But I urge you to please consider a different location. This is not the place, not even farther off the road, because of the principal use, because they want to have a principal use for the entire site, because they're asking for so many variances on something that is not an allowed use here in the first place. I ask you to consider all of these things when making your decision. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On the list, James Yanello. And if I mispronounce anyone's name, please correct me with a name like Iliopilios. I'm sensitive. I want to give you the respect of saying it correct.
Good evening. My name is James Yanello, Y-A-N-N-E-L-L-O, and I live at 18 Ladwood Drive in Holmdel. And I've resided there for 17 years with my wife and 2 daughters. I live roughly a quarter, by the way, people in this room know I don't need to read off something, but there's a lot to say, so I'm just going to read off it, so I apologize.
Trust us, he does it.
It's not my style, but so let me get to it. I live roughly a quarter mile from this proposed station in front of the solar farm, but my wife and I drive by it several times a day, each of us. I stand before you this evening with a solid knowledge of the natural gas industry. Early in my career, I covered it for 15 years on Wall Street, at Moody's Investors Service, Kidder Peabody, Payne Webber, and UBS, during which time the group I was associated with was ranked first, second, or third natural gas utilities research team in America by Institutional Investor magazine. I followed New Jersey Resources, the parent of New Jersey Natural Gas, closely for 10 of those years, and I know many of the senior management, including Larry Downs, who is still the chairman and CEO. I tell you all this because I know New Jersey Natural Gas well, its people, its culture, and how it has traditionally operated. That is focused, efficient, above board, open, and honest. As a result, as you know, it's historically been very well liked by its communities, regulators, customers, and of course Wall Street, and its executives have been generously rewarded as a result, and I think that's great. However, my favorable image of New Jersey Natural Gas changed after investing now literally, as crazy as this may sound, just me alone, and I know many other people have, over 100 hours on this regulator station application, including going to 7 of the zoning board meetings, listening to one I missed on tape, the on-site visit, and a lot of behind-the-scenes work. My change in view on the company is not simply because all of a sudden it's proposing to put something unfavorable in my community. It's because I'm genuinely disappointed with how the company has handled themselves throughout this application process, and I'm going to tell you why. The following summarizes my concerns. From early on in the process, New Jersey Natural Gas had an adversarial approach to the Holmdel residents. It started with the on-site visit where we were rudely told by their outside counsel that we could not ask questions because it was not a formal zoning board meeting. They came equipped with a professional videographer to get on tape all interactions with the community, so any attempt to ask any questions was met with a video camera thrown in your face and great pushback by their counsel. It wasn't before long that many were asking, what is the purpose of this sham? And tempers rose. I suggest you request the raw footage from the on-site to see for yourself. Next section, titled No Planning. That, by the way, was titled A Bad Start. By now, I'm sure you realize that New Jersey Natural Gas expanded the capacity and pressure of its local regional pipeline grid, including the Holmdel Road line, with absolutely no planning for where it might put an active heating regulator station that might be needed at some point. Now, because of that poor planning and or outright negligence, they are attempting to jam it in an inappropriate location, claiming hardship. This is ridiculous, the company should be embarrassed, and it shouldn't be Holmdel's problem. The next section, lack of disclosure. Despite repeated requests, New Jersey Natural Gas has not been willing to disclose the proposed easement agreement with OCI Solar, the Korean-based company that owns the property the solar farm is located on. The only thing New Jersey Natural Gas will say is that they will be paying OCI Solar a large lump sum payment. Residents are concerned, as Ms. Casola said, that New Jersey Resources may in the future plan to buy the entire property to initially fold the solar farm into its unregulated solar portfolio. Longer term, as solar economics change, we believe New Jersey Resources, again the parent company, could dismantle the solar fields and seek to use the property for possibly a strategically located, regulated New Jersey natural gas compressor station and/or LNG peaking storage terminal. The specific terms of the contract could shed light on this possibility, and the ongoing secrecy of these terms is unsettling. Who really benefits? Try to follow this, because it was very hard to get this on paper. There was quite a bit of inconsistency in New Jersey Natural Gas's testimony on who exactly benefits from this regulator station. For example, Craig Sanders, very nice guy, manager of transmission operations at New Jersey Natural Gas, stated on the record, and I quote, "This station is intended to serve Holmdel, only Holmdel." He also said, and I quote, "This station is only feeding Holmdel Road and the vicinity." The problem with this is, Mark Pancioni, senior project engineer at New Jersey Natural Gas, has stated on the record, quote, "The primary purpose of this station is to serve Holmdel. It serves Holmdel and the surrounding community." Then when Mr. Pancioni was pushed by a resident, Ms. Balmer, to elaborate about what other communities besides Holmdel it would serve, he stated, mostly Middletown. Furthermore, when Mr. Sanders was then questioned again repeatedly about exactly how would the gas flow and who is served by this station, he stated, "Our systems are all interconnected similar to a highway system. So the line that goes up the road does tie to 36, which feeds that particular system." So the whole not just Holmdel notion makes sense, since the first two sites New Jersey Natural Gas attempted to build the regulator on were much farther away from the current proposed site, actually in Middletown, on the Middletown-Holmdel border. The not just Holmdel notion also makes sense because wherever the station is located, this is important, its purpose is to heat the gas and cut the pressure off the main transmission line that comes down from the north into Hazlitt and then into our area. This is important too, before it taps into the critical circulating line that weaves through many towns, including Holmdel and Middletown. It is from this weaving circulating line that gas then flows to the various distribution systems and each housing or commercial development. Notably, after we repeatedly questioned these who really benefits discrepancy during the hearings, the company's post-zoning board denial appeal to the BPU now states, as you said, as someone said, the proposed facility is designed and intended primarily to provide natural gas to the residents of Holmdel, though it will certainly also benefit customers in adjacent communities. Certainly is an understatement. Putting aside the fact that it was originally planned for Middletown, when you look at the pipeline map and the weaving route of the critical circulating line, it is abundantly clear that this facility will surely benefit other communities. And that was not what was stated originally. Leveraging a great excuse. So to review, the station was originally proposed in Middletown, and its original primary purpose was to depressurize the main line that comes from the north before it goes into the circulating line that weaves around and serves many towns, including Holmdel and Middletown. But those locations were shot down by Middletown. So then it appears New Jersey Natural Gas came up with the narrative of needing to more directly tap into the other high-pressure line in the region, which comes from Jamesburg, Marlboro, heading west on 520 near Vonage. I quote Mr. Sanders, "The proximity to a second transmission line, which we have on 520, that feeds toward the shore area as well, this is the prime area to feed off of, the secondary line, which runs on Holmdel Road to feed the other Holmdel area." And upon being questioned about the other North Hazlitt supplied locations denied by the Middletown landowners, Mr. Sanders said, well, that location might not have been the most desirable location, but what we are saying now, because of the proximity to these two feeder areas, this is the best location. We worry that this new proposed location, we worry that with this new proposed location, Holmdel could now be in a position to take one for the Monmouth and Ocean County teams, as heated natural gas could be easily directed onto the 520 line, which heads east toward Rumson and the shore. Or worse off, As mentioned earlier, this new location, with direct access now to this 520 line that heads towards Rumption and the shore, would be a heck of a strategic point for a compressor station and/or LNG peaking terminal for the entire region. Next section, extreme solution proposed. I acknowledge that the inert underground regulator on Holmdel Road gets moderately iced a few times a year, and that there is the need for some type of incremental heated regulator somewhere in this region to prevent this from happening there and other places along that circulating line. But based on the conflicting testimony and record at hand, as well as the sheer extreme size of this proposed three-stack solution on the opposite end of the solution spectrum from the current inert underground units that work well 99% of the time. So just to review, we have underground ones, they're working fine 99% of the time. They're proposing from going to these inert things that maybe get visited once or twice a year to this godly, very expensive, complex system. So I am not at all convinced it needs to be in Holmdel, and I'm not convinced 98% of Holmdel will directly benefit from it. And to quote Mr. Sanders, who someone else just quoted, this is a major station, a significant station. Again, we're going from these inert ones to a major one. Give me 1 second. Almost done. Regulators not well kept. The upkeep and condition of many of New Jersey natural gas regulators are less than desirable, including the adjacent landscaping. We've detailed an example of this in pictures from their Lincroft facility, the condition of which the company blamed on a recent storm. But the storm was only partially at fault. I suggest you request these picture exhibits from our zoning board. Amazingly, when we presented these pictures of the unkempt facility to management, including a rusted vent stack and heating core unit insulation panels billowing in the wind and hitting electrical connections, it was suggested to us that we should have reported the condition of the facility to the company as their crews making the rounds didn't get to it yet. We were floored by this statement as it was days after the storm. No video monitoring. New Jersey Natural Gas only monitors its regulator stations with pressure and fire sensors. Yet for less than $400, teens can monitor live video on their Apple Watches and Wi-Fi-enabled GoPro Cube cameras. New Jersey Natural Gas has no plans to have any video monitoring of the facility, relying solely on sensors for safety and security. We find this astonishing and unacceptable given the condition we found its Lincroft facility in and the new world we live in today with low-tech terrorism threats everywhere. When I visited the Lincroft facility, I was there for 20 minutes taking pictures, video. I could have had my way with that facility. No one had any idea I was there. No catastrophic analysis. While I understand that natural gas is not stored at regulator stations, no analysis has been done to illustrate what would happen if the facility was struck by lightning or if a vehicle breached its defenses, causing catastrophic failure and fire. This is unacceptable, and residents deserve to know specifically what the blast and fire zone would be under various catastrophic situations. None of this was provided. To conclude, it's a long conclusion, but I'm concluding. As noted earlier, I have nothing against New Jersey Natural Gas and have actually been fond of its management team and how the company has handled itself in the past, both on a professional and personal level. However, putting totally aside the fact that this proposed three-stack complex is in my town and would totally change the character of the Holmdel Village area, I think it's clear from the record that the company has not been straightforward with this application. Beyond all of the above, the fact that in its appeal to the BPU, New Jersey Natural Gas did not include hours of highly relevant testimony from the public in order to save paper should not go unnoticed and candidly should be extremely alarming to you and the entire BPU. Let's assume paper was truly a concern. With the tens of thousands, if not 100,000 or more dollars being spent on just this application, couldn't New Jersey Natural Gas have included a one-page bullet summary of the top 10 concerns of the community during all those meetings? Well, it didn't, and it's abundantly clear why. In my opinion, this one factor alone compels you and your colleagues at the BPU to dive deeply into every word of the testimony and the entire public record while considering this application. This is about Holmdel and Holmdel people. Despite what, and it's part of the conclusion, despite what might be a stereotype of Holmdel being a tad uppity, we are actually a very good, hard-working community of people. And we are not anti-business, and we like our utilities to be strong and healthy. We have that with New Jersey Natural Gas. And by the way, if I may, the polar opposite with JCP&L, who has run the local distribution system in our town like a slumlord over the past 2 decades, as it focuses on dividending money back up to the parent. And with one more word on JCP&L, because I'm making a comparison, just look at the countless listing and broken telephone poles still around in our region after they spent hundreds of millions of dollars after Sandy to try to make up for the neglect. And that's why so many of us believe the Monmouth County Reliability Project is absurd. But while Holmdelians appreciate a strong New Jersey Natural Gas versus JCP&L, we don't like its clear lack of planning, or worse, with this regulator, and its disingenuous approach throughout this application process. And given this lack of planning, or worse, and disingenuous approach, we again worry about the potential for NJR, the parent, to acquire the whole property, and if it does, what will it transform it down the road into, again claiming hardship and need from you, the BPU. We were gracious, allowing scores of variants for the sprawling solar farm to be built on that beautiful land on Holmdel. Now that graciousness is being exploited both by New Jersey Natural Gas and OCI Power. Finally, I implore you to take the time, go through all the testimony, see the ambiguity and inconsistencies, hear the questions and concerns of the citizens absurdly redacted, and request more detailed analysis on that pipeline, directional flow, and volume that comes in and out of the region. After doing all of this and seeing what we have seen and heard, I implore you to have New Jersey Natural Gas rework their regional grid plan to relocate this extreme three-stack solution and whatever else might come along with it in the future to a more appropriately commercialized or industrial location in the region, as they specifically on the record said they seek to do. Thank you for hearing me out on this, and I thank you in advance for analyzing this application deeply with your colleagues at the BPU. Please feel free to contact me with any questions.
Next on the list, I have Pradeep Janji.
Okay, so Pradeep, P-R-A-D-E-E-P. The last name is J-H-A-N-J-E-E. 38 Takalusa Drive, Holmdel. Okay, Judge, I had sent this letter to you, but I made a few additions to it, so I think I'll read it out. Okay, so dear Judge Pelios, thank you for your willingness to listen directly to the voices of individual citizens of Holmdel. I attended the majority of Holmdel zoning board meetings on the subject issue. The meetings stretched over many months, and the audience of informed and concerned citizens grew significantly over time. Initially, I got the distinct impression that this county-approved project was destined to be approved by the zoning board. This impression was reinforced when I learned that the zoning board had already provided New Jersey natural gas relief from performing any environmental studies. The proposed 3-chimney gas regulator station is amongst the largest of its kind, and clearly is an industrial installation per New Jersey Natural Gas's own testimony, and typically belongs in an industrial zone. A beautiful scenic road populated by multi-million-dollar residential developments, farms, and corporate office campuses is simply the absolutely worst location for such an installation. The proposed site would replace a berm currently visually hiding a solar farm on the road. The proposed proximity to the road only adds insult to injury. I am concerned that New Jersey Natural Gas's appeal did not include the many months of testimony given by concerned Holmdel citizens, and that Holmdel Township's legal response was deficient in representing the wealth of issues that were raised by concerned citizens. I provide the following observations that perhaps you will find helpful in judging this case. So the title of this paragraph is, "The associated gas pipeline expansion was not for Holmdel." In 2011/12, the old main gas line in Holmdel was replaced. The diameter of the new pipe is 16 inches, whereas the old pipe was 10 inches. This is a 2.5 times larger area pipe, and therefore 2.5 times the previous volume, or in other words, 150 increase in capacity. The pressure in the pipe was also significantly increased from below 250 psi to a maximum of 722. Such an increase in gas delivery capacity could not possibly be driven by the needs of a mostly developed Holmdel. Please note that Holmdel has about 6,000 residences, so a 15% increase would involve 900 additional residences, which would easily absorb any reasonable increase in Holmdel's housing stock, given the limited land available. Clearly, the pipeline capacity increase was not with Holmdel in mind. The next paragraph, the title is, "The large new gas regulator was never a new pipeline afterthought." Per New Jersey Gas Natural Gas's testimony, the gas company did not ex ante inform Holmdel that a very large gas regulator came along with the larger, higher pressure gas pipeline. Given the scale of the pipeline project, one cannot explain such neglect as gross incompetence, but rather as willful deceit. One does not increase the max possible operating pressure by almost 3 times without recognizing the need to address the existing gas regulator infrastructure. Reasons for rejecting alternative solutions were not presented by New Jersey Natural Gas. So there are 4 points here. 2 of the 3 existing gas regulators currently feed off the old transmission line where the pressure drop is not a problem, so there are no icing issues. The 3rd existing regulator on the Vonage property has the icing issue, but has been operational for many years now without shutting down. Why cannot the Vonage regulator be addressed in isolation to handle the higher pressure step down in a more satisfactory fashion? This combination of solutions would remove the need for this huge new regulator station. Number 2, why were the 3 non-Holmdel New Jersey natural gas alternative sites for the new large gas regulator station not viable? A simple one-liner replies are not adequate when asking for Holmdel to swallow the pain. Why is it not possible to replace the proposed gas regulator station with more suitably elsewhere within Holmdel? Why is it not possible to place the proposed large gas regulator station deeper into the proposed lot of land and housed within a facade of a house? None of the above questions were answered, other than New Jersey Natural Gas saying that it is not optimal. Given the semi-legal construct of the zoning board meetings, it was very difficult to have a normal 2-way rational exchange of information and understanding. I truly believe that New Jersey Natural Gas deliberately used this construct to obfuscate issues and spent valuable time answering questions not asked and not answering key questions asked. Does something need to be done to solve the higher pressure drops facing current Holmdel gas regulators? Of course, the answer is yes, it's physics.